All right, what's going on YouTube? Back at you with another video. So we are officially 7 weeks into the cut. So I kind of just wanted to talk about in this video where my mind's at, the awareness and everything I've learned so far from cutting. So we'll start off with, so right now I started at about 190. I'm 179 right now, and I've lost 4 inches off my waist. That's going to be the first thing too. The reason I understand now why cutting is so important, because a lot of people see, for me, I learned I have good genetics because my waist is really small. But if you don't cut or get lean enough, you're never gonna know if you have good genetics or not. But you likely have very good genetics. You might have David Lade world class genetics, or Chris Bumstead, whoever. You might have world class genetics, but if you don't work out and get lean, you'll never know. That's the first reason. That should get you in the gym, get you be lean off that alone. But one of the biggest things I've learned just from cutting is just how hard it is. But not that, because I'm not. It's been very easy to get the steps in and do his meals and that stuff. But what it really means, like when you've mastered gluttony, because there are people that this is their identity. Their identity is them destroying gluttony on a day-to-day basis. That's very powerful. Their standards are extremely high, and that manifests, having the abs and them looking really good. See, starting the process and now walking through it, it's made me aware, but it's made me appreciate, like, damn, like those people are really locked in. People you've seen past, like, damn, it's even more impressive now. Now that you have the awareness to understand how impressive it is, if that makes sense. Because that's the thing, a lot of people might be skinny with abs, but they have no muscle. Anyone's gonna mock them, even like that. But if you have muscle and you're lean and you're eating all the right foods, if you want that look, that requires a lot of dedication, because you have to work out, you have to consistently track. And the biggest thing too is why I understand cutting is, it's not that it's harder. Well, no, intuitively it is harder, because when you're bulking, okay, well, you could argue they're both kind of the same thing. You're eating more food than you want to gain weight, but cutting is you restrict, so you can only eat a certain amount of food and then you stop. That's where the control, that's where the power comes from. That's why, let's think about it. What's rare? Someone that bulks 300 or someone that's lean? Someone that's lean. That's why it's more difficult, because it's rare. What's rare? It's coveted. But it makes you realize, like, yeah, you have to get lean, because that's the way you master yourself. And another thing too, what I was going to mention is, if you have an issue with lust, master your gluttony, and you're going to notice it's going to be a lot easier to handle lust, because the two are like intertwined. It's really crazy how that works. But it's been really awesome just seeing. That's another thing too. Don't worry too much about the scale. I've had people tell me that too, but now I'm just like, okay, because the scale hasn't really moved in a couple of weeks, but my waist keeps going down. My lifts are getting stronger, so that's good. Because the scale, we're going for the look, not the scale. The scale, eventually it'll start going down, I assume, but right now everything's moving in the right direction. So just keep it pushing, keep the calories consistent. But yeah, it's been a really awesome, this whole journey, because you learn more about yourself. Your standards get higher. Certain people you're not gonna laugh anymore. That's fine. That's also needed for you to get to this next step, because a lot of you, if you can cut them off sooner than later, because if you're only hanging out with them to eat goofy food, you're not gonna get lean eating goofy foods. Because that's the thing too. Lean people are telling me, yeah, like they don't eat those foods. If they do, it's like once every 6 months. It's not gonna be every weekend like you think. Those identities conflict. That's what makes it so hard for it to be consistent. When you recognize that, okay, this is what locked up people do. I'm gonna do the same things, whatever it takes. Job's not finished. It's gonna get very easy to do these things. So now it's like, until I get to desired outcome. But you don't even worry about the outcome anymore. You just raise your standards permanently, and you'll get lean eventually as a consequence, and you'll be able to maintain it. But I just understand that, like, yeah, there's a lot of power in mastering your gluttony. That self-control is something, and what people understand is so few people have that amount of self-control, especially the man. I think it's important. We have the ability, regardless how we feel, we're still gonna show up, eat the right foods. You know, we're not gonna be a slave to lust, gluttony, all these things. That's why getting lean is so important. And that's a great thing too. It's funny how I'll say SR kind of led me to this point, but getting lean in the like all these things, when you really like sit back and observe, you recognize these are all very natural things. Like they're all parts of your journey. It makes so much sense. It's some anime shit. It's like you're being divinely guided to doing the right things. I'm telling you. That probably went over most people's heads, but I'm sure some of you listening understand. But I always describe it now as there's like this invisible string, it feels like, that's like pulling me towards the right things I want to do. I got that tug, so I started posting. We post on IG too. I don't know if anyone knows, but I guess my advertising, got IG. I drop, motivational stuff, some workout tips. IG's in the link. And the links are in the bio. My excuse me. But yeah, follow, support, drop a free game for you guys there. Because if anyone has any diet questions or you're confused about the gym stuff, of course, the goal is to help you guys, so I make these videos. But yeah, definitely call it away. I will of course answer. But yeah, really wanted to make this video just to talk about my thoughts so far of the whole lean journey, but also you got to start. You have to start. I'm telling you. If you're if you're overweight, I'm telling you, it's gonna change everything. If you're going through things, you have problems, credit card debt high, whatever, girl left, doesn't matter, relationship issues, low self-respect, just get lean. Yeah, I really do get it now. Yeah, they're not kidding. Like, I can already see problems getting fixed for me getting like this just a couple of weeks in. I can't imagine a year with this awareness of this identity. This shit is really powerful. So you have to do it. Like, let's all kick gluttony's ass. We have to master ourselves, because if you can't, not that you want to conquer, but if you can't master yourself, how do you expect, to do all those other crazy goals, you might have? And I feel like a lot of us, we want to skip, the deep work, the self-mastery, the pursuit of self-mastery. We just want the money now. We want the chicks now. Like, no, you can't. You're not going to get those things. And even if you do, it's going to be superficial. It's going to be too soon. I'm always going to use that One Piece example, in Shibodi, where Luffy and the gang, they're talking to Rayleigh, Roger's right-hand man. And Usopp basically acts like the secret of the world. But Luffy cuts him off. But even if Rayleigh told them everything at that point, they wouldn't have been able to do anything, right? They just weren't ready. They wouldn't have probably even understood what he was kind of talking about. It's the same ideal here, but it's gonna be worth it. Stay locked in. Definitely just start your journey, because that's the thing. Everything's gonna work out. You just got to be intentional, do the right inputs, and keep improving, keep learning. For me, it's learning. Okay, boom. Optimizing my hormones, metabolism, optimizing my sleep, because when you optimize all these things and you're in tune with nature, or you're aligned, that's going to put you in the most powerful state to manifest, and do the things that you want to do. That's why I'm going to keep recording these videos, because if you would have told me a couple months ago, like, oh, you post on YouTube consistently, I'd have been like, what the fuck? How? I don't understand. Like, because something I always wanted to do, but now I'm doing it daily, and it's very fun. But see, me fixing my relationship with food, fixing my with lust, what I do in SR, it's led me to this point. So I'll say the journey is very spiritual, because everyone has to go through these things. It's very important. I tell you firsthand, lust and gluttony destroy people, and I mean on a daily basis. They're literal demons, and they're killing lots of people. Literally, a lot of people just don't understand that. Like, that's why everyone's so overweight. You see, being overweight, that's the thing. A lot of people aren't gonna get, because they're only looking at the external. Like, yeah, being overweight puts you at risk of type 2 diabetes, but the spiritual damage, the spiritual misalignment, the continuous lack of, you said you do something and you don't do it, is why you look like that. People, they underestimate that part. That's why it's so important that you're in alignment, because we all want to be lean, we all want to be healthy, because this is aligned with our true nature. When you deviate, so it leads to the problems, the health problems, and the high stress and all these things. That's why you gotta stay locked in. Yeah, guys, if anyone's made it this far, the question of the day is, what do you think what have you learned most from cutting like your current journey so far, or if you already lean, you can comment. But yeah, that'll be the question of the day. Stay blessed, stay locked in. So hopefully this uploads tonight. But yeah, upload tomorrow and the day after that. And yeah, stay locked in, guys. Stay blessed. Let's get it.